Saturday? All right, good. That should now. This I changed it to 10-second delay.
Turn your phone on mute.
So
Your phone on mute.
Yeah.
That's good.
You say what?
I'm gonna mute it though.
All right, there we go. We good. We live. All right. Okay, we good. Johnny, how we sound over there? That should now. This I changed it to 10-second delay. Okay.
I changed it to 10-second delay.
All right, cool. We should hear ourselves. All right, y'all, how y'all doing? We gonna have a good live podcast. Please jump in the chat. I got Joel here from Jujeezy.
Collectibles. Jujeezy Collectibles.
I got CJ here. CJ, give a shout out about on your channel.
Hello, everybody. Chaos Reborn. Go over to the channel. Check me out. Gaming, wrestling. There we go.
All right, cool. We're going to talk about, is Mighty Morphin the best Power Rangers? Now, the reason I thought about this was because we watched Power Rangers as kids, so we thought everything was the best the first time you saw anything. But is it the best one? It made the most money, of course. It made the most money, but is it the best one? So I'm going to kick it off with this. Tommy Oliver, Green Ranger, White Ranger, and 6 more times, but came back, right? Came back 6 more times.
Yeah.
But is he the Batman of Power Rangers? Now, what I mean by that is, can Power Rangers during that window, could it have survived without him? Or is he like the glue that holds it all together?
I don't know. It's kind of hard because, I mean, you look back at anything and you be like, would it have done it without this? Would it? But we don't really know. But I know when I was a kid and we was looking at him, and he, the Green Ranger first came, we was like, oh, the Power Rangers started getting beat up. We like, oh.
Survive without him.
I mean, he changed the game over there. So he was like the new addition outside of the Japanese version and everything. And he was like, man.
New addition.
Yeah. Because, the Green Ranger wasn't in the Japanese version.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was in Senpai. That's where they got the footage from.
Yeah, the Super Sentai
I should have
was.
said Tommy Oliver.
There you go.
That's what I should have said. My bad.
Oh,
Tommy
you're right.
Oliver wasn't. That's what I should have said.
Tommy Oliver. Well,
But-
I don't think none of them were in the Sentai.
But man, when he came in, I was like, this shit cold. This right there, I like this. And then when he first came down as the White Ranger, and you like, oh, who is it gonna be? I don't know. As a kid, I don't know if I thought it was gonna be Tommy. But anyway.
So to answer your question, Backbody, and I'm biased, the answer to the question is no. It would not have survived without Jason David Frank, and that's the reason why they wouldn't got him. It's because the show was stagnant before he got on the show. The show didn't get live until he came on there, and you never seen somebody whoop somebody in a Megazord and knock him out the Megazord. So when you see somebody do that, then you know he legit. He beat them up in their own Megazord and threw them out the Megazord. You can't beat that. Like he jacked them. You know what I'm saying? Then he got 4 different more powers. He was white, Zeo Ranger 5 red, Turbo Red, and then he became the Black Ranger and Dino Thunder. Like, bro, he had so many powers. Like, they kept him on the show intentionally just because he brought ratings.
Yeah.
Well, but see, when I think about that, I think about they consistently did power up episodes, right? They did power up episodes to try to repair from ratings. They had every 13 episodes, they did a power up, meaning new weapons, new Zords, new outfits, and because the ratings were consistently dropping. And then that goes into, my next
Hold
question.
on. So before you answer the next question, Tommy didn't get no power ups.
No.
Green Ranger. He didn't get no SG. He didn't get no power when he was a Green Ranger and he had Dragonzord. That's all bro had. He didn't have nothing else.
Well, he was introduced because ratings were dropping.
Right. That's
considered a power up. They introduced a new villain, a new hero, a new Megazord, a new suit. That's considered a power up. Meaning they need something to bring the fans back in because the ratings kept dropping. Every 13 episodes they dropped, and they had to give us something new.
Okay, that's basically what I just said. I mean 13 episodes because, like I say, I pretty much said until he came on the show sucked. Sorry, but it was terrible. And then once he got on there, it got better because he brought
terrible.
It was. He brought a different. If you notice, nobody started making sounds till he did it. You notice on the fight scenes, nobody made them sounds until he started doing them, and then everybody started making sounds. But before he got on there, Austin St. John was playing. He didn't do a lot. He was just, all right, more for time. And then he'd do what he do. He'd get beat up. They called him Megazord into the show. But Tommy got on there. Tommy made all type of sounds. He had his own theme music. When bro came on scene, they always needed him help no matter what. Tommy, we need you now. And I'm on the way. Well, you know what I'm saying?
So you're saying it can't survive without him?
It wouldn't have survived without him. Ain't no couldn't. It wasn't. The show, that's why they had to do the Green Ranger. It took a week long. They had to do something. They didn't have a choice. And maybe they was going through contract issues too around that time. Maybe they weren't getting paid a lot.
Yeah, I found out they were getting paid like regular workers.
Yeah, they weren't getting paid nothing.
And when they all asked for a raise, it was like, well, new people.
Yeah, basically. Saban was like, we going to get new people.
Yeah.
But they paid Tommy though.
Yeah. I mean,
they paid JDF.
So what we were just mentioning, I know it's not about Power Rangers, but about wrestling. You got a person who's like, without him, wouldn't have gotten there. And that's the person who we don't like, you know.
Yeah, but then that means he's the skeleton of Power Rangers, and if he leaves, it falls apart. But Power Rangers didn't fall apart when he left. It actually got better because technically, according to the fan ratings and the data, RPM, Power Rangers in Space,
crazy.
Power Rangers in Space, RPM, SPD, those are the highest ranking storytelling Power Rangers ever.
And that's because of because they was filmed I think in Australia instead of overseas. I think a lot of the shows are filmed in Australia, and like certain shows, even Dino Thunder was a good one. Still, I'm not sure what the reason. Dino Thunder was good. SPD. The one with the Quasar Sabers. What is the name of that one?
I'm not.
Crap. I should know this, and I know. But the one with the Quasar Sabers was a really, really good one. Some of them did tank though. I thought RPM was one of the ones that were horrible because it didn't make any sense personally. And then you had the Mystic Force was a trash.
Yeah, I got the whole list here. You got Power Rangers.
Lost Galaxy. There you go. That's the name.
You got and Power Rangers Lost Galaxy was after space. Yeah. Then you had Turbo. Then you had Zeo, Wild Force, Dino Thunder. Then you got all the other stuff that was in between those, like the Alien Rangers, the Ninja Rangers.
A lot of stuff.
Even when they became kids, but you know. I just want to throw this out there. According to the data, RPM, Time Force, and Power Rangers in Space, outside of Lord Draken's story, those are the best storytelling Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin don't even make the top 10 list as far as storytelling.
Wasn't a good story.
Well, I'm not gonna say it wasn't a good story. I think because he was an OG, and you gotta remember, a lot of the scenes didn't come from New. They came from the Zenpai with the Super Sentai, which means people already had seen it. So the storyline for them, to me, it wasn't that great. The Green Ranger arc was one of the best ones. The one with before they went to Zeo was a good one. They went to be kids again, and they had to get the Zeo crystals back. And the White Ranger 2-part episode when they turned Tommy White. But other than that, it was kind of they didn't really make a storyline. It really wasn't no your father is this, or you know, your mother got transformed into this. Mighty Morphin is about 5 kids who you just teleported and made them superheroes. That's it. It wasn't nothing else behind it. When they started doing the other ones, you started getting a storyline because it made it better. When, like you're saying, with certain things, RPM, I think Dude's father took off and you missed Dino Thunder. Dude's dad was the villain and he was taken over by Mezagoff. It made it a better show. But Mighty Morphin, you can't take away from them because that's all we had when we was kids. Well, we used to run home to just see the action. They wasn't about the story. We wanted to see people get kicked in the putties and all that stuff. We didn't care about the storyline. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but I disagree because you can't say the first of anything is always the best. Cause I'll throw this out there. What versions of Devil May Cry y'all played? Y'all played all of them?
Played all of them.
So you saying is 3 better than 1?
Yes.
Yes.
So
yes.
So right, that's my point.
Onimusha 3 is better than 1.
Now I'm gonna push back a little bit only because you got to think about it once again. We wasn't going home to look at a storyline. We was going home to see people transform the weapons and to emulate the martial art moves. That's what we wasn't doing it for the storyline. We didn't think as kids, we're not worried about the storyline. We just wanted to kick people and stuff. We used to go outside and it was Power. I know I did. And it was Power Rangers that kick people and do flips like that. It wasn't about a storyline then.
So when did you stop watching Power Rangers?
I haven't stopped.
You haven't stopped.
I still watch it.
Nah, I don't. I stopped after a while.
I collected for a living, so first I'm gonna keep watching it.
Yeah.
No, I stopped. I definitely stopped after a while. I think that's 2009, 8.
Yeah, I was sure to say.
So you didn't see once a Rebel Ranger? You didn't watch that new specials on Netflix?
No, I did.
I was gonna say, then you ain't stopped watching it because you watched that, so you see all the OGs come back.
I stopped for 15 years and then came back.
So, what do you think of the movie that came out in 2017, 2019, 18?
Which one?
With the
you talking about Ivan Ooze?
No, Ivan Ooze was trash.
Oh, you talking about the one after that?
You talking about the one with like, was it Becky G?
Yeah, no, it's
Ranger?
the one that came out in theaters.
Yeah.
Which one? What?
It was one that came out in theaters like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's probably trash.
It was, but did you watch it?
I don't remember.
See, that means it was trash.
I need a Wikipedia. I need a Wikipedia lookup because the last thing I remember was Ivan Ooze.
You got your phone right there.
Yeah, but I'm doing something else. So I'm not sure. Like I said,
You should watch it because in that one they tried to bring back Rita. And they did bring back Rita.
So I feel like I've seen this. I'm not just connecting the dots.
And they were OP. Look, he about to bring it up. That's the one.
This one?
Yeah.
Trash.
It was trash. That's my point.
Goldar wasn't just a big gold thing. He wasn't even Goldar. That's why I say that one trash.
So
the black guy was the Blue Ranger. I was like, why y'all do that?
So before we get for who had the best villain in Power Rangers?
Ooh, man, that's a tough.
Now I ain't
gonna hold you. Lord Zed to me is the ultimate villain.
Zed, man.
Zed is the ultimate villain, bro.
I like Zed.
I like the
when
machine.
He first came.
I like Mondo.
You like okay? I like Mondo too.
But Zed was best friends with Zordon, bro. Like he.
But that was like way.
But I'm just saying, Lord, they brought Lord Zed back just for that one show. Lord Zed is like the ultimate. He like the Frieza on Power Rangers, bro. You can't get rid of dude.
But see, Lord Zed was cold because how they introduced him.
Have you seen him fight?
I have seen him fight, of course.
Right, he destroyed them other Rangers in that last show. He gave them the business.
So I think the hands down the best Power Ranger villain or villains was the Psycho Rangers.
I'll give you that.
The Psycho Rangers.
But you naming an entire team. You said villain.
Well, hold on. I said, well, you're right.
Yeah,
villain.
But they a group.
Yeah.
They a group.
But they are a team. But you're right. They are the best ones as a team.
Yeah.
But not solo.
But
you said a solo villain.
Okay, I'll give you that. So who is the best solo villain?
Mondo, Zed and Mondo. I go with them too.
What about
Ivan too.
Zenaku?
Zenaku.
The one that was the wolf. And I think it was.
I don't remember.
Is that
that's Wild Force.
Wild Force.
That's 2002.
I didn't. Wild Force didn't catch him.
But they had really good villains.
Wild Force.
Yeah,
Wild Force was dope.
Now Time Force, that one I rock with. Time Force was dope. And Lost Galaxy is one of my favorite ones.
Lost Galaxy is, to me, in space, and Lost Galaxy.
That was a storyline. You want to talk about a storyline? The way they started the show is the way they ended it. And I like that. They started the show pulling the Quasar Sabers. His brother fell into the thing. His brother came back like maybe season 2 or maybe whatever they called it. And he got the power from the Magna Defender. Then they put the swords back at the end to bring everybody back. Now, that's a storyline.
So right now, right before we get super caught up in, is Mighty Morphin right now still the best to you?
The GOAT of all time.
The GOAT.
Dog.
Without
Mighty Morphin, wouldn't have been anything else.
Well, I'm not saying that we're taking away what they created. I'm saying as far as storytelling, as far as how they switched over. Because you got to remember, in Mighty Morphin, they transitioned about 8 times. First it was the Ninja Ranger, then it was the Alien Ranger, then it went to Kid. They kept trying to give us stuff. They didn't do that in the other one. They didn't switch up space like that. They didn't switch up RP because they didn't have to.
They didn't have to, right? They had to keep the show going until they got, because you got to remember they was also a transition of Bandai America. So you got to remember they was leaving Bandai America, and you notice they stopped saying Saban at the end of the shows because they got a new company, and the new company took over, and that's why the shows look more realistic and the monsters look a hell of a lot better because they started doing it in Australia. That's why they filmed all the shows going forward was in Australia. So they changed the cast up. So Bandai America, when they lost the contract, they went to whoever bought it out, and then they turned it around so they didn't have to follow the Mighty Morphin blueprint when they just kept doing it. But instead of calling us Tyrannosaurus, it's White Ranger Power, Blue Ranger Power. Then it went from the Ninja this, and then they went to Zeo. All these shows were under Bandai America, but Bandai America lost it. It lost in space.
I like that too.
Lost in Space was not part of Bandai America.
Right, because I think Zeo
was the last one.
Zeo was the last one.
And that's when they went to I think Space came after that.
After Zeo?
Yeah, I think Zeo, because remember they went, Turbo.
Turbo
was next.
Turbo was after
Zeo.
Okay, because that's the last time they used the word Mighty Morphin.
So what about Divatox?
Who?
Divatox.
Divatox.
As ultimate, as a really good villain.
No, see, when I think about villains, I think about the real cool villains, like the villains.
Diva Tox was cool.
But
She was loud.
She was, but that don't overshadow a Lord Zed.
What about Andrea's sister?
Okay, Andrea's sister. Yeah,
She was a problem.
No,
When they transformed her to that thing, she was a problem.
she was definitely a problem.
I had to look up Diva Tox. I was like, I don't remember names like that. I remember faces.
Though somebody said Power Rangers villain of all time. I love who was that? Diva. Okay,
Tox. I told you I brought up
yeah,
Diva Tox.
Diva Tox was good, and then somebody said Tommy was kicking ass till he flipped.
I mean, if we want to put villains out there, Green Ranger.
Green Ranger.
I was gonna say, yeah.
We're gonna talk about villains now.
Yeah, Green Ranger was hands down, but that was, I think, but he broke the fourth wall when he was like, you know what, I'm getting in your Zord, I'm whooping everybody. Dude, that's still
hilarious.
But you know what, though, Backbody, I will say, the Psychos, I'm not gonna hold you.
No, the Psycho Rangers.
I think the Psychos, I will have to include them as you know, they're a team. I will include them only because they came in and they was whooping everybody. Like, even in the other shows, they was like giving it to people. You know what I'm saying? The Pink Ranger had her own thing, but one of the Power Rangers actually died in the show.
Yeah,
when she got that sword, the pink Psycho Ranger ended up killing the Lost in Space Pink Ranger. And then she got reborn at the end. That's why I said Love the Galaxy to me was one of the best storylines, but she got brought back at the end. But even when the Red Psycho came back, it was another set of villains too.
I forgot all about that.
And I forgot about them. They was kind of like, they remind me of some Beetleborg type characters, but they was some awesome villains too that the Power Rangers ended up fighting in I think that Forever Red episode they showed. I forgot the name of those villains.
Yeah, but see, those wasn't like main villains you consistently saw. You consistently saw the Green Ranger,
and the
Psycho Ranger, Goldar. You continue
one-offs.
Hey, you got to put Goldar out there because Goldar kind of survived a lot.
Hey, man.
And they still keep bringing Goldar back for some particular reason.
Goldar is like the you get your ass.
Him and Tommy stay button heads. He's like, yeah, we gonna get it in, dog. I ain't going for that, man.
I'm trying to think who I would put Goldar as. He's like the Team Rocket.
I thought that was Bulk and Skull.
He's like,
hey, they was.
I thought that was Bulk and Skull.
They didn't fight though.
Yeah, like, but they was always doing some stupid
stuff. They were just
stuff.
always doing. But Goldar, he'd come out there and they was like, no, you're not on us.
Because Lord Zed gave him his wings, right?
Yeah, Rita took him and Lord Zed gave him back.
Yeah.
So how far back did Zordon and Rita and Lord Zed go? Because they go back far. They go back to wherever
what was
Zordon
the intro?
home
10,000 years.
Yeah, it was
whatever Zordon home planet is. That's where all three of them originated from. Because Rita was technically the original Green Ranger. That was her power coin.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That was hers. And then Zordon and Lord Zed were actually, I want to say they were brothers, but they fought at the same thing. And I think Zed at the time, that's what he was called, Zed, he wasn't feeling what the other people were doing. And Goldar, him and Zordon end up having a fight, and the reason why he got transformed into that because he fell into some type of pit and it destroyed his body, and that's why he looks the way he looks. Okay, so you have to read the comic on that, and it'll tell you that. But that's what happened.
I didn't read the comic, so
yeah. What is everybody saying in the comments? That was a really good backstory you just gave.
That's why I'm a Power Ranger head, clearly.
So never knew that. I like Rita in 2007 more than the old school.
2017.
So that how can you like Rita more?
Because the Rita in that movie was a little bit different. Because remember the original Rita died, so they replaced her with a different version, which is the one you saw in Mighty Morphin. But the movie villain, she was young.
Okay.
And she was just a little more, it was just something about that character. You know what I'm saying? She was really ruthless too, believe it or not, in that movie. She wasn't playing. She almost killed Billy, I think, didn't she, in the movie?
Rita?
Yeah, she had him like choked up or something against the wall, and she almost, I think it was Bill's one of them. She had him like by the throat.
Wait, I think you're talking about that dark Power Ranger.
No, the one we talking about, the one I didn't see. I think the Goldar, when they say the Goldar wasn't Goldar.
Okay, I see. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, that's the Rita she's talking about. Yeah, that's the Rita. Yeah.
No, you're right. That definitely makes sense because I do remember that. Mm-hmm. Does Power Rangers? Do you believe Power Rangers could get the ultimate reboot if they went super violent? Like if they had...
Well, they went dark is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, if Power Rangers went dark...
That's what the White Dragon is. That's the one J.C. Franklin's working on. So it is dark. So you get to see the Morphin. That's why they did Lord Draken. Lord Draken is the dark version of that.
Yeah, but are we going to get the killing, the aggressiveness?
Because they got a Death Ranger. That's out. So you got to read the comic. It's a Death Ranger. So Lord Draken was killing people. He wasn't destroying them. He was killing them and taking their power coin.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why they got the White Dragon coming out, because that's basically part of the storyline. So
Okay, I'm gonna have to read that. What if she was really, really aggressive? Her character was way better developed.
yeah, because she didn't do nothing. She didn't. The original Reader just screamed all day. This one went to Earth and got to just doing stuff.
And got it with their glamour.
They got her with their grandma, and then she fused with Goldar. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, she had the green power coin. They was supposed to do continuous, but the show sucked so bad in the theaters. They just never got a chance to do it.
Well, I will hope that they give us something serious, because Power Rangers always, because I always remember Tommy saying Power Rangers is a kids show and it's supposed to be kids friendly.
Started off kid friendly, but then they started making it more adult friendly, because the kids now aren't watching it. We grew up watching that.
What do you remember when Lord Zed first showed up?
I was scared.
His blood
I was
wasn't.
scared. Yeah, them two. I was scared.
But it wasn't. It was first. It was red, and they changed it to what? What did the color?
They just changed it to like some black stuff just because they stopped doing the red stuff. But it was scary though, bro.
That's what I'm saying. When he first came, you like, oh shit.
Yeah, like who muscle bound dude with the yeah, man, it was crazy.
That was dope.
Freddy Krueger looking at.
But like I said, and also with the Power Ranger 2, like you don't know an alternate timeline when the Power Rangers beat Tommy. Tommy stayed evil. He didn't stay good. He stayed evil, and then
I know where
and
you're
then
going.
he ended up killing Rita, and then kidnapping Kimberly and making her the Ranger Slayer.
Cause that's when she had the wings, right? No, not the wings. When she had I forgot what version of Kimberly. That's when she was.
So basically, remember the spell Rita put on Tommy?
Right, the same one.
He used that spell on Kimberly and turned it to the Ranger Slayer. So the Ranger Power Coin was supposed to go to Jason. And Tommy killed Jason and took the coin. Okay. And then became Lord Draken.
Right, but I remember Kimberly became bad.
She did. So
okay.
that was a Ranger.
That was okay. That was okay.
So she had the bow of darkness, pretty much two sword of darkness put together into a crossbow, and that was her weapon. And she was black and pink instead of the pink and white.
Okay, that I remember. Okay, because I do remember that. I kind of like she was walking around slaying people.
And she was. That's what they called her, Ranger Slayer. That's what her name was.
Somebody said a rated R Power Ranger would be crazy. I know a rated R Power Rangers would be insane.
Just read the comics. I promise you're gonna be like, yo, that's wild, because it's dark.
They were showing something. I can't remember what it was, but it was a violent version of something that we was younger. And I think Michael Jump White might have been a part of it. And everybody was like, man, that would be so dope. But it's like, it was just like some YouTube or web stuff. I can't remember what it was. But it looked cold as hell. And I think the same thing.
It wasn't a movie, right?
Nah.
Because I remember somebody made a fan-made Power Ranger. It was super dark.
Yeah.
And
you know what I'm thinking of?
And I don't know if it was Zach on coke or something like that, and somebody was killed, and then Tommy was going around trying to get revenge. It was like a really, really dark Power Ranger, like a fan-made.
That I gotta look up.
You ain't seen that? They had guns and everything. Well, I'd say a rated R in the one is what the 90s babies need. Of course.
You're clearly a connoisseur.
And what did Jay say? I'm too old for this to know what you guys are chatting about. But a nerd is here to support. Also, BL should have been a cool Bosch hat for you guys. That's what's up, Jay.
We talking about 90s Power Rangers and which one is Mighty Morphin the best one ever.
And I'm biased, so I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say,
Why do you say it's the best? Just because it's the original?
Because it was the blueprint for everything else that came out. Granted, I know that's how stuff goes, but you got sometimes when they do they do a series and it doesn't make it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like by Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin doing what they did, and actually shout out to Super Sentai, because if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be no Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
But
so that's what I think too. And you got to remember, their episodes went longer, and they did a lot more, and they still making Power Ranger episodes.
They on like season 50.
Yeah, they still making Power Ranger episodes. But for the US do Mighty Morphin and Bad Eye America to do that, and then to see where it is now, I think is, to me, that's why it's to go. Because without that, without Tommy, without any of that other stuff, them other Power Ranger shows would have never did that. Because it was more, to me, I felt like it was more of a learning curve. So this is what we don't do in the new season. This is what we do.
I give you that
in the new season.
Well.
But do I think it's the best?
But that still goes back to what I was saying. Every 13 episodes, they had to re-up, give us something new. To me, that sounds like the formula ain't working.
You got to keep switching it up.
I mean, I feel like,
because you got to think about it. RPM didn't do Power Up episodes like that. Lightspeed Rescue, Turbo, SPD.
So when you say power up, you meaning like they get a new power, or you're saying like they have to switch up something?
That's
No.
what you.
Because every Power Ranger episode was a sixth Ranger involved.
So here-
every series got a power up because it was always a six. It's never
think
been a
it
Power
just
Ranger
mean-
without six. Without
Right,
six Rangers.
but here, I'm gonna give you the breakdown.
Okay.
The first Power Up episode was the Green Ranger,
Right.
or right.
Green
That
Ranger
was
Saga.
that was the first one. The second Power Up when they introduced the Megazord due to low fan viewership. The third Power Up was they reviewed the White Ranger because they were trying to recapitalize what the Green Ranger did.
Okay, so I think your order is wrong.
No. Well, no, there's
So-
not.
No, because the Megazords were introduced before the Green Ranger saga even came out. So the
Whoa.
Megazords were first, and then the Green Ranger part came out.
I'm sorry, not Megazord, but reintroducing a new version of the Megazord.
So
Powering up what they already
right,
had.
so they didn't get Thunder the Thunder Zords until later. That's when Tommy lost his powers.
That was like episode.
Yeah, that
Right,
was,
but,
yeah.
but remember, we got to remember they kept upgrading the Megazord, kept adding stuff to it, adding bigger,
Dragon Zord introduced the Titanus.
Uh-huh.
Is that what you're
powering
trying
up.
to say? Okay.
They call it a power up. So they taking something that's already there and they're powering up and refreshing it.
But you know, all of them has done that. So basically, you're trying to say
No, but Mighty Morphin done it the most.
because they were the longest tenured program out.
No, wait, you think so? What?
Yes, you know what I mean. Mighty Morphin went
How
through
many
like
seasons did Mighty Morphin?
yes, they had about 4 or 5
I was gonna say,
seasons
it had to
compared
be-
to everybody else.
Original Mighty Morphin didn't have that many seasons.
But it was all a continuation to each
Yeah,
one,
right.
though. So it all counts as one. They didn't change Mighty Morphin until they got the Zeo.
They got to
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so they extended that series personally way too long. I'm gonna get because they made the White Ranger, and that was way too long. And then they did the episode when the White and Green Ranger fought each other, and then did the episode when they lost their powers finally, and they became Zeo.
They became Zeo.
Yo, Johnny, we ain't frozen over it, are we? You said no?
You sure?
Oh, okay, because the show froze on here. Oh, okay, it's back. It's choppy, but it's back.
choppy, but it's
Oh,
back.
okay,
I'm
okay.
off the Wi-Fi, so
I'm off of it.
All right, cool.
I was never on it.
It'll fix itself in a second. Dang.
it's
We
deep.
over there pop lock.
So, okay.
It'll catch up, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, let's maybe we over here yelling too much. So,
But I did not lie. We do want that 90s R-rated version of Power Ranger.
Oh, we getting it. That's what the White Dragon. The White Dragon is coming out because they brought back Johnny Young Bosch. They brought back a lot of old actors from the Mighty Morphin and some of the Time Force and a lot of people just to crisscross.
Yeah.
all right, this looks like we smooth. We looking good. All
It's
right.
not about the Rangers, but people would always say
Sorry about that, we yelling.
Kid show. I'm like, Turtles wasn't kiddie.
What else?
All right,
What else you got for back body?
So, right, so they had the upgrades on the Megazord. Then they had where they revealed the White Ranger. That was another episode. Then Lord Zed upgraded all the enemies, right? Upgraded the other enemies. That was another power episode. Then they also did replacement of the actors, but you know that already.
We know that was contract issues.
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah, they do that.
I heard the backstory. Did y'all see the dark side of Power Rangers? Did y'all watch that special?
No, you talking about like
It was a Netflix special. You need to watch it.
No,
Because
I
it
didn't
gets
see
into
that.
detail about the SAG treaty and Austin St. John they was all supposed to stick together. And then Amy Jo, Jason David, and David Yates sided with the company, and the other 3 sided with themselves, and that's why they put them off the show. So they paid them 3, and then they just bought 3 more in, and then gave them some bread.
But my thing is, how much was what the max these Rangers made?
It was slave contract.
Damn, that's not good.
Yeah, they weren't getting paid like that.
They weren't getting paid like that because they didn't think the show was going to do what it did. But they weren't getting no money off the revenue either from the toys and everything else. They weren't getting no percentage off of that either. That was going all to Bandai America. They was taking all that money. All them sales they got from Toys R Us, the Power Rangers, and I was one of them kids that had the Dragon and all that stuff too. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't getting no money from that.
Yeah.
They didn't see none of that money.
Ida said, did y'all share who your favorite Power Ranger was?
The Green Ranger.
The Green Ranger.
Everyone knows who I like.
Who you like? Who your?
It's all about that hip hop keto.
Oh my! Come on, Zach.
Dude, he was the black guy on the show. See, we got a thumbs up over there. Black guy on the show, and he was positive. It wasn't nothing crazy about him. He did the whole hip hop keto thing on his own. That wasn't like, hey, Get out there and dance.
So
boy.
the backstory behind that is...
Wait, hold on, pause. Was Kimberly doing too much
In what way?
in the whole relationship with Tommy?
I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, I'm like...
Because that's like real life stuff, so I don't know how to answer that.
Oh, wait, they was really dating?
No. So in real life, they really did like each other.
Oh.
Yeah, so in real life, that wasn't just on screen, that was off screen too. So that's why, when he died, she was hurt.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
That was real.
But to answer your question, real quick, when they hired Zach, they wasn't gonna hire Zach, number one, because they was like, okay, we see that. What else can you do differently? Zach was like, well, I can dance and do martial arts, so let me see. So when he started doing it, we can use him because I brought a different spin to the show.
Yeah.
And then it was like, we're gonna call it hip hop Aikido, and it's okay, cool. So they hired Zach because you couldn't do flips or like that. You want to go make the show,
Right?
And he brought something different that made them like, you know what, we're gonna rock with bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hip Hop Keto. Is that the real name?
Yeah,
Hip Hop Keto. You know what's crazy? I didn't know until I think last year, maybe early this year, that he was missing a finger.
So that's another thing under wraps too.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want the kids to be like, oh my God, mom, he's missing a finger. Because he was missing a finger. So the whole time he was filming, he was missing a finger.
And I
But you
think
gotta
you
think about
mentioned
it.
before, you see it, but you don't see it.
But you gotta remember what they were showing wasn't the costume version was the Super Sentai.
Yeah, that was Super Sentai.
The human version, notice the angle was always towards the hand that had all the hands. the fingers.
Okay.
And it was
That
never
makes
towards the
sense.
one that didn't. But like when I met him in person, you could see that.
Yeah.
And shout out to, Walter Jones, I follow him on Instagram.
You know what happened with his finger?
It was an accident or something.
When he was a kid, he said I can't remember who it was, his mother or grandmother or somebody. He got her gun or something.
Yeah,
and it fired. It went off and shot his finger off.
Yeah, he lost
when he
his
was a
finger.
kid.
Dang, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. That's interesting.
Dang.
We got a couple of comments. Ken Julius Thomas said the Power Rangers had them Diddy contracts. We're not talking about Diddy on this show tonight. We're not doing that.
What?
Let me just say,
Diddy had them.
426.
They said Power Rangers had the Diddy contracts. 0426 said Black Ranger because Polly Pink said super biased, but I love Pink. Ida said Trini and Aisha were my favorites, which was the Yellow Ranger. Shout out to Trini. Jay said, who doesn't like Pink? Polly Pink, like, no, she was in love. Talking about the Tommy situation.
Well, I can't. I wanted that relationship so bad.
They said number 5, Jaden with Kenjutsu. Number 4, Casey, the Tiger Style, the Kung Fu.
Who? Oh, okay.
Adam with the Taekwondo, Hapkido mix. Tommy with the Hybrid Kempo and Kickboxing. And number 1, Jason with the Shotokan Karate.
No.
Okay. Respect.
Shout out to Sensei Carl, Typhoon Martial Arts.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
What's up, Kev? Where you been at, big fella?
Hey, I love him, man. So let's get back at it. Is Mighty Morphin still the best one?
I'm gonna say yeah, man.
You said, so despite all the upgrades, the storytelling don't be any. It's not even in the top 10 for storytelling.
I don't think when the show came out it was about storytelling. That's why I'm going with it still, because it wasn't about storytelling. Like you say, what did the intro come out? I'm looking for 5 teenagers with attitude. It wasn't about a story. It was about I'm finding 5 people to protect the earth. That's it. Go Power Rangers. That's how it started.
It's like the raid. You just got to go in there and do that. Ain't no story to this.
Yeah, you got to go in there and you got to learn on the fly.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I always love the Ninja Rangers. Like
which one you think? Which one you like?
I think Power Rangers in space transition into Lost Galaxy is hands down the best.
Now that had the best storyline outside of, to me, Lost Galaxy. That had the best storyline, Lost in Space, because that stretched for a while because they left Earth.
Yeah.
Right, but
and explore space, and then they got new powers, and then they give them. So I give you that. Like I say, the storyline on that one was excellent. I ain't gonna hold you; it was really, really good.
Yeah, because it was dope. I was like, man, there's some really good storytelling, and even when I think about Turbo, I feel like Turbo was a little. I feel like it felt a little bit robotic.
Kevin said yes, the original was the best, but the thing with Turbo was that was them passing the torch.
Yeah.
So they was getting rid of Tommy, Catherine, and Billy, and passing the torch to the new people because they wanted some new, fresh faces, and they had to go younger because everybody was getting older.
Okay. Well, but Power Rangers was always about keeping everybody young, right?
Yes. Every time they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people was in their 20s. Like, some of them was like 22, 23, 24. They wasn't that old.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they had to keep it. Tommy was doing it too, but 26, 27, and he still was doing it later in his 30s.
And he came back in later, yeah.
Tommy, how many times Tommy came back?
5 times.
Nah, it's more than 5 times.
He
Tommy,
like, no, 5. I know what it is.
You talking about the power? If you talking about powers, it was 5 times.
no.
Green, white, Zeo, Turbo.
Okay.
And then the black one he did last. It was 5. That's why you got a Master Morphin, because I got one at home.
No, I
Like, I know
think
what you're talking about.
Tommy reappeared.
Now, if you talking about as in shows, he reappeared over 10
Yeah, only-
times
he-
easy.
Yeah, just appearances.
Just appearances alone, they brought him back just to do cameos. Like, he did cameos in movies. The only one he came back and did a full season was Dino Thunder.
Okay.
After he finally stopped after the last, after I think it was the after Turbo, he came back in Thunder, and that was the last one he did a full season of. Because it was 5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, it sucks that Tommy ain't here no more. So
Yeah.
R.I.P. to him. But it's you know, I kind of felt like, you know, he overshadowed a lot of people because you know what's funny? When I would actually looking up who could beat the Green Ranger and who could beat the White Ranger. The White Ranger kind of trumped a lot of people, but the Green Ranger could definitely be beat by Lord Zed.
So let me tell you something about that real quick. I'm gonna give you a history on that. So, real quick, they said the Red Ranger is actually stronger than the Green Ranger.
Didn't he beat him?
They said
One
in
of them episodes
the
and
comics,
made him power down?
he mops the Green Ranger.
But even in the show, he beat him and he powered down. And
Yeah.
And that's another thing I wanted to just say real quick. When you talk about JDL's death, I met him 2 weeks before he passed away, and that was hard to meet a man in person at a comic book store. He signs everything you have, and then to wake up one morning and I get a phone call. Shout out to my guy Lauren. He tells me JDF is dead, and I say, bro, you're lying.
Like, what?
And I just met the man 2 weeks ago. And he passed away from suicide. So depression is real, you guys. So if you please, it's real.
Absolutely, yeah. You gotta take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of it. It's real.
Of course, yeah, Polly Pink. Of course, I would know that.
So, okay, did Space have the same writers?
No, because it wasn't Bandai America anymore. It was somebody else.
Yeah, no, they did not have the same writers.
And that's why the storyline was so good.
Say, if you could have any Power Ranger, who would you pick? Whoa.
Green Ranger.
If I could be one,
I gotta be Green Ranger.
come on, y'all know who it is.
Y'all know you black.
Yeah. It's no finger.
Green Ranger, I wouldn't pick the Green Ranger.
The Green?
Who?
The Green Ranger?
Because I heard Red and Green come out. He's like the Ranger.
I really like the Gold Ranger when Jason
Gold
came
Ranger
back.
was good, yeah.
When he came back, he became the Gold
So
Ranger.
if we're going off certain shows, if I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, anything I pick gonna have JDF in it. So I'm just gonna stop answering that question because it's gonna have JDF and everything. Except now, hold on, I ain't gonna have you. Nah, Lost Galaxy, I did rock with the Red Ranger there. SPD, I actually like the Blue Ranger dude. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay.
SPD, I actually liked him because he actually became SPD 1 finally. So I actually like him.
So who I say, green or white? I hated Dino Thunder.
Damn, that was strong. Hate is such a strong word. You hate Dino Thunder? Oh my god.
Quick question: what are y'all favorite Zords?
I'm not answering that.
Because it's gonna be, the White Tiger, or it's gonna be the.
So what I'm gonna say honestly
Dragon.
is 2. Dragon Zord is 1, and the Super Z Omega Zord is the second.
Okay. Maybe if I play, it might be because I play with the toys so much. But the Shoguns, though, I love those. But it's probably because I play with the toys.
Put together.
Yeah, not for me. I was
Did you got a Falcon Zord too?
Huh?
Did you have a Falcon Zord to make it the Super Shogun? So you ain't had a full extended. You have all that.
Yeah.
White, but I have no clue.
He said white.
I
but
go gold or white.
I go gold or white. He talking about the Ranger 6.
The Gold Ranger was dope.
Yeah.
Not when Jason played him. Not when the regular dude was playing him, he was fire. But when Jason played, I was like, man, he putting this character to shame. Like, he didn't do nothing.
He
didn't do nothing. I call him Pure Midas, and then they take care of everything else.
He did what he needed to do.
And they had the Super Z Omega Zord. They didn't even need his help.
Right, he didn't do much. I will say that he did
Tommy
not.
had a hell of a power. Tommy had 2 Megazords. He had the Zeo Ranger 5 Zord, and he had that red one that he used when the fist.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Like this. Yeah, bro. He had hella power ups in that show, bro. Like they didn't even need to go Ranger. They was like, man, go sit down. We'll call you. Call you later. You know what I'm saying?
So
Kevin agrees with you on the Zord.
I know. That's my man, Kevin, my brother. I know.
Kevin, I go gold or white. See, okay. Who's your favorite villain?
We just asked
Yeah, I
that
talked
question.
about that.
No, your favorite. No, I said who. You said I said who's the best villain.
Oh, my favorite?
Yeah, who's your favorite
Oh,
villain?
Lord Zed. bro.
Yeah.
Lord Zed.
Yeah,
I
Lord
thought we
Zed.
talked about that already. Yeah.
Lord Zed is first, and Mondo from Machine Empires too.
Well, you can have the best villain, and you can still have your favorite villain.
Yeah.
Lord Zed is my favorite.
Because I think Dark Spectre was cold.
Dark Spectre was
Dark
nice.
Spectre was cold.
Dark Spectre was nice, but
Tell
he,
y'all, I
you
don't
know,
remember names.
but Lord Zed can't be killed. They can't kill this dude. They destroyed Dark Spectre.
Well, yeah, they blew up.
They
Dark
can't
Spectre.
kill Lord Zed. He keeps coming back. Bro, him and Rita can't go nowhere.
Okay.
They just keep coming back.
Yeah.
All right, who?
So Staten said the
It
White
was like
Tiger
freezing.
Zord.
Who?
Staten said the White Tiger Zord. That's a good pick too, Staten. Yeah, the White Tiger Zord.
You know what I hated about the White Tiger Zord when the dude was talking at the end of the handle? I like that.
You hate on Saba, bro?
That shit was.
Oh, you a hater, bro. You hating on Saba.
That was trash.
Hey, Staten, was it Dan you that had the White Tiger and all that stuff?
I got the Saba Zord at home, bro. Why you gonna say you hate on the Saba
That was
Zord, bro?
terrible to me. I'm like, what are we doing here? Why?
Come on,
is it-
man.
He needed a companion. That
It
was
was
his help.
cheesy.
But he holding it like this, and he talking upside down.
Because he's talking to Saba. Then when he fought, he flipped it around and he was like, we finna get it in.
I just said Ivan Ooze stay in my memory.
See?
Why we keep talking about Ivan
I know.
Ooze?
We're not talking about Ivan Ooze. We
Hey,
told
I
you he
mentioned
was
earlier I like Ivan.
but he's one of the worst villains they ever created.
Evil Ivan Ooze was
Because
whack.
that movie was trash.
Evil Ivan Ooze. Man, it's,
I love you, sis.
I don't. Did the movie make money though?
Which one? Of course, it made
first
money. It was
movie?
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes, it made money because it was the Power Rangers.
Talking about the first movie?
Yeah.
Ivan Ooze.
Yeah.
Because after that, they stopped making money. It just started going downhill from there.
Oh, they should have came in with us.
When they did the movie with the ninja, that didn't do too well.
No.
Even though that was kind of like, yo, it was just a lot going on. Zordon almost died. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm sure you read the Lord Draken story. Which one is better? Shattered Grid, Beyond the Grid, or Necessary Evil?
Shattered Grid.
Shattered Grid, the first one?
Because that's the origin of Lord Dragon.
Okay, so, because I didn't read though, but Beyond the Grid is what part?
It's next. That's when he becomes the Lord Draken V3.
Okay,
So that's when because what it is, the more power he absorbed to the point where they started killing him.
Killing who?
Tommy.
Oh,
Started
okay.
killing
Okay.
him because he was taking on too many power points. He was making evil Power Rangers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I need to check that out,
Yeah.
man. And then Necessary Evil is what? Pretty much the
end. This when they fixed the morphic grid and they fixed the entire timeline and brought everything back. So the original Tommy fought the Lord Draken version.
Okay.
And ended up beating him. And And then they put everything back to normal because he was messing with all the timelines.
Oh, he was on bull.
He was going to Lost in Space timeline, Lost Galaxy, so all the Power Rangers started uniting as one to try to confront Lord Draken. But he had so many Power Rangers like in his back pocket, it didn't make any sense. He was strong as hell.
I bet because he combined the white and green Ranger.
He combined the white and green. He started taking everybody's power. He killed the Black Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the Yellow Ranger. He kept Kimberly as a Ranger Slayer. And then any other Power Ranger that kept coming into the thing, he would destroy him.
So all my memory of Battle for the Grid is from the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got the comics. I got the comics at home and I read them.
But you play the game?
Yeah, I played it. It was trash, but I played it. Though.
I've never gotten beat up by the AI like that before.
What? That Vegeta?
I got smashed with a tutorial.
Really, bro?
That Vegeta will be back. What is he talking about?
The Vegeta in the back, standing with the poles. You talking about Vegeta or you talking about Turles? Which one?
Because one of them pearl is. What are you over here? You over here breaking stuff.
That's my water bottle.
You talking about the Vegeta in the back?
The one that got his arms crossed.
Yeah.
That only S-Dot can do that. I swear to God.
Man. He said I had everything that was green and white Ranger and
Talking
shit.
about Daniel.
Yeah,
Had
it
all
did.
that stuff.
And then Kevin said Shattered.
Yeah, I told you Shattered.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to go read
Man, you
that.
paying Kevin to agree with you, man. That's what it is.
Kevin, ain't
Hey, man, let him pay you to agree with him, man.
Man. All right. Next thing I want to go over. What you think was the most overpriced toy?
I can't say.
I can tell you right now, all the SH Solar Sokogen Megazords that's out now, they overpriced and you can't find them anymore. And I got 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I think the Megazord was always the most overpriced as far as toys and collectibles. Because even the original figure that came out, it was like what, $25, $30 back in the 90s.
So you got the Megazords and then the weapons were the second highest. The action figures wasn't nothing. It was the weapons
Yeah.
when you try to use your imagination to get your Power Ranger. And of course, the Megas was because you wanted to put them together.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the most expensive ones.
Were the original ones, were they plastic or would they have like the
original
okay.
plastic? Yes.
Okay, what did it say? Vegeta, talking about Vegeta. I want my no damn Vegeta.
Can a good Power Ranger video game? Can a good Power Ranger video game be produced?
Yeah, the heart is high.
It can. It just depends on who produces it.
Well, it depends on is it an adventure game, is it a fight? Because they made
Power
a
Rangers
fighting
always
game.
An adventure game. You could do both.
Yeah.
But it's still an adventure. Even in a fighting game, you still got a storyline.
If, like, say the people who made, I don't know, the Gotham series or anything like that, or
If they ever did that, oh my
it'd be a cold
god!
Power Rangers game.
If they
Even
did
if they
Power
made about
Rangers-
the people who made Streets of Rage or something.
But they
You
done
made a
that.
side
They
scroll.
did that though. But if you saying they did,
was it great though?
no, it wasn't. But
Right.
you did Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum,
With
like
Power Ranger version. Oh, that'd be dope.
Oh, yeah, that would be dope.
God.
Oh, yeah.
With the counters and everything, that'd be crazy.
That
And
would,
then you make it multiplayer. You gotta have
oh, yeah.
3-4 people playing.
People going to be upgraded and get added
Man.
armors and stuff and
I
weapons.
feel like you can do. I think Power Rangers can survive off a Devil May Cry engine.
Oh yeah.
Can Power Rangers survive off of
Cause you have a
Devil May
bunch of putties and stuff that just running around. You just got to beat up, and then other little villains they make up and stuff like that.
It won't be as over crazy combo.
No,
wise.
it won't. But I think you do it off the Devil May Cry engine though.
I think that would be dope. Devil May Cry engine, yeah, that would be
That
fire.
would be fire. That would be
I would
fire.
buy it.
I would too. In a
I'm
heartbeat.
like, I'll buy it in a heartbeat, man. Stacey said the turtle blimp was $80.
The what?
Turtle
Turtle
blimp.
blimp.
I remember that.
I had that.
I had
and I had the Technodrome.
Dang.
The big eyeball and it rolled down and stuff. Yep. Till I broke it. But yeah.
What do you say? It would
Need to be dropped in, drop out with friends.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that means, Jay.
drop in and drop out with friends. How you gonna? But I wouldn't want it to feel like no Fortnite game though.
Yeah.
Please don't do that, God.
Oh my God! If they did a battle royale game on it, I'd be like,
I'm so tired of Fortnite. My daughter be like, Daddy, can I
I'm
get
tired
somebody
of
for Fortnite?
battle royale games in general. This ain't what this is about though, because I go into a whole thing about that. God, I'm tired of those games. But
Oh no.
they can make a great Power Rangers game if they really
I think
put
to answer
their
your
mind
question,
to
they
it.
could.
I think they could,
To
but
answer your question, they could.
I think it need to be done by Unreal.
The Unreal Engine. You can't not have it. But go ahead.
All right, I looked up a few fights here because we almost at an hour. I looked up a few fights. Who's winning, the Red Ranger or the Green Ranger?
Red.
This is based on what will actually happen.
Red.
Red, who you going with?
You want to go with green?
I don't
but
have to answer that.
Okay,
You already know the answer.
He agrees that it's red, y'all.
No, I agree that it's green. Green means
All
gold.
right, according to the actual data, the Green Ranger going to dominate. So gonna dominate. All right, Gold Ranger Jason versus White Ranger Tommy. Who winning?
Zeo crystals are stronger.
Yeah.
I
Zeo
tell you
crystals are
that.
stronger?
Zeo crystals are the strongest thing in the comics. The Zeo crystals are the strongest thing in the universe, and the powers keep evolving. They don't stop.
Is it
Even though
the show?
the morphers.
Huh?
Is it the same in the show that it's?
So they stopped that.
Right, 'cause
In the
I'm
show,
like-
they cut it off, but in the comics, they say the Zeo crystals are the strongest.
So are we going off
crystals
the comic or
in
the show?
galaxy.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going off just entirely the universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, when you even like say Dragon Ball manga versus anime, you be like, it's a whole different thing. Like,
No, it's
so
totally
that's what I'm
different.
Like, so
But you going green, you going gold versus white. I'm going with gold.
yeah.
You gonna go? Nope. It says Tommy gonna dethrone him.
Because they don't like Jason.
Yeah.
They don't like Jason.
All right. Gold Ranger versus the Green Ranger.
Plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. What the hell? You
I'm not answering that.
It's like gold.
Well, it say Green Ranger will triumph over
And
the
I
Gold
figured I was
Ranger.
gonna say that, but I didn't want to answer that because I like
Man,
both.
they hating.
All right. Next one is White
Wait,
Ranger.
who is this? Like that you're going off of?
This is going off data
webs-
of
okay.
off
Just
their power. Yeah, off their powers.
Okay.
So White Ranger versus Green Ranger.
You, come on, man.
Know what you mean? We just gotta think about it. Who will win these battles?
Well, in the episode, it was a draw.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was a draw.
So
my answer is gonna be a draw.
It's a draw.
according
Because
to.
he's evil.
Oh yeah, this is first Green Ranger.
I'm saying, are they saying green because I guess he doesn't hold
We're going
back?
off Zeal 426. We're going off both the comic and the show. We kind of got to do both because the comic's been out longer than the show.
I'm coming for your Joker T-shirt.
Who? What? I'm coming. Why so serious?
Coming for my Joker T-shirt. It's funny. So, who is next? So we got Green Ranger versus Lord Zed.
Lord Zed.
Lord Zed.
Zed. I'm sorry, Lord Zed.
Zed a dog.
Sorry, he a dog, bro.
Lord Zed.
Lord Zed is a dog, bro. First of all, he whooped all the Power Rangers, so it don't even matter.
It's like
Tommy ran up against him and got crushed.
Yeah, the winner of that is definitely it's Lord Zed.
Yeah, it's Lord Zed, hands down.
So all right, White Ranger versus Lord Zed. But you know what? Before I go to next, it's funny that they say the reason Lord Zed will win because his dark magic can overtake the Megazord. And modify the Green Ranger's powers and the powers that Tommy wields.
Yep, because he took his powers. Remember that, right? With that crystal. So
yeah, Lord Zed on bull.
White versus Shadow.
All right, who?
Did you see the comment?
What the comment say? The Shadow Ranger? Are you going off the comics or the show? A little bit of both, but mainly the show. Because the comic books it's kind of their own different universe a little bit. And you said White versus Shadow. That's what I said. That's what the person over there said. Hello with me. Sorry, you could talk already.
But the name of the Joseph Kahn Power Ranger movie. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Talked about it, but what was the name of the Joseph Kahn? Yeah, what was the name of that?
Oh, the Joseph Kahn Power Ranger movie. I don't know.
Look it up.
I was finna say,
look it up.
Y'all got Wikipedia out here watching us, man. Y'all can look it up. We're trying to do a podcast. We ain't got time to do no research like that.
It was called Power Rangers.
You know what I'm saying?
You said it was called Power Rangers?
Either called Saban or it was called Power Rangers.
You said it was just called Power Rangers.
Oh, so that was what I was thinking of, the Power Rangers. And I was like, they had a violent version.
So that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fan made.
Yeah, that's the fan made.
That's what I was thinking about earlier.
Yeah, that's a fan made.
Yeah, I think I got that mixed up with the Mortal Kombat that Michael Jai White. They had that.
What's up, producer?
Yeah, so he said the Joseph Kahn Power Ranger. It's a 2015 unauthorized short film that reimagines the classic Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series with a dark and gritty twist. Co-written by Kahn with production. He says it's a 14-minute film that features a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that Power Ranger. You seen it, right?
Yeah.
That was fire.
They needed to extend on that. That's all I'm saying, man. They could have made a little Netflix movie out of it.
All right, and these are some people that can definitely beat Tommy, because Tommy is considered the top. So Jason Lee Scott, the Zeo Gold Ranger, at his peak, could beat him. Of course, Ranger Slayer, Eva Kimberly, comic books. And it says most Psycho Rangers will whoop most of the Rangers.
Because they're able to drain they can actually take your battle, how you fight, and put it in their own way, and that's how they're able to beat you. And the reason why I lost in space, one, because they switched colors. Instead of you fighting your own color, they fought a different color. And that's how they're able to beat the Psychos. And that's their weakness. You have to fight the opposite color. You can't fight the same color.
Yeah, but you're getting folded. Dude, I went back and watched that. They was kicking it.
But they grabbed them by their head and they was absorbing their brainwaves, so they knew how they fought. So they knew who they were, how they fought, and everything. So anything they did, they was like, we got a match for that. You know, don't forget, it was still two more after that. It was a silver one, it was a green one. I was part of the comic. It was a green Psycho Ranger.
But the silver one, he defected, didn't he?
No, the silver one was he played a role. Ended up becoming the Titanium Ranger and lost in space.
Okay, I remember that. Okay. Yeah. See, all that stuff be coming back.
I show like, man, there's a lot of stuff you forget until you hear it, and you like,
I got all the figures at home. That's
I do this. That's what I do.
What else in the comment? Task. Who said Taskmaster?
We was talking about the Psychos.
I said Taskmaster, and that's Harris just said it.
Taskmaster. I'm thinking talking about from Marvel and Capcom.
I mean, that's what we're talking about, because he can mimic you. Like, you can take your style.
Too bad in that new movie that Taskmaster stuff didn't work because they was getting crushed.
What?
Yeah, they was. But you know the one. The one thing the one thing I hated about how they ended Rita and Lord Zed. I think didn't they become humans?
So at the end of the Lost in Space, when they killed Zordon, his powers cleansed the whole universe.
Cleansed the universe.
So Rita was technically a human, and she got pushed to be an evil. Same thing with Divatox. Same thing with Lord Zed and all of them. He cleansed everybody. That's what he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
A big yellow burst of energy.
Yeah.
They should cleansing up the universe.
Orange burst.
So, and then here's some villains that can beat the Green. Lord Zed beats the Green Ranger. Master Org from Wild Force, which is the ancient mastical. Then of course Dark Spectre from In Space. Then Evox.
I remember him.
The Beast Moria. I forgot about
That was part of the Morphic Grid then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So remember that show was part. They tapped into the Morphic Grid. They was able to withdraw out the morphin power. Kevin said they need to make a movie off the Shattered Grid, and Staten said trash, whatever that. Oh, you must be talking about the Thunderbolts. You said it was trash.
Make a movie off. They make a movie off the Shattered series. But see, I don't know who will approve that.
What do you mean?
It's a lot of people saying that they don't want Power Rangers to be put on a big screen and become dark.
It's already dark.
It's not. It's really not. Usually, I mean, what Power Rangers is on TV today?
Right now, there's none. There's
Really?
none on TV right now. No, there's none right now on TV.
There's something out there.
I thought it was something.
Nah, there's something on there today.
I forgot the last one they did was they did the Forever, the Mighty Morphin Power Forever. They haven't had another series since then. They trying to make another one, but they haven't made one.
Hold on, let me see. Oh no, the last televised was 2023.
23.
The last televised was 2023.
They haven't made another one since.
Shoot.
Oh, he's saying the part about the Taskmaster was trash.
It's a reboot planned for 2025.
He said, "Hey, Kevin, duties this week are Hell Divers. Stop playing Hell Divers."
That's a good game.
I know it is.
What was the other game?
It was so underrated too.
Yeah, Hell Divers.
Hell
good.
Divers is a really good game. I hate that when you die, you got to start over. But yeah, it's a really good game.
Shoot. All right, y'all. Hope you had a good conversation. We right at an hour. Keep it simple. A little bit of technical difficulty.
Should have brought my Morphin.
I'm glad y'all jumped in the conversation.
Damn.
All right, y'all. Anybody else got any last? I see y'all at Hell Divers tomorrow.
Nah, man, it's your boy Juju.
It's Monday.
Collectibles, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to Backbodymystery. Make sure y'all continue to support him and also support my man. What's your channel?
Chaos Reborn.
Shout out to him, man. Y'all subscribe, man. Thank y'all for following this man right here. This is the GOAT right here, man. This is my GOAT.
I see y'all later, man.
3 of them to God.
Johnny